I think it's worth contemplating, is God an imaginary friend? And the truth is, for most of history, he was just that. Thousands of years ago, the Jews escaped slavery. What's the first thing they do? They think, hey, I got an idea. Let's set up a tent and tell them God lives in there. Yeah, bring us all your best meat. See, the Bible is mostly history of people's conceptions about God. People taking advantage of those ideas too, exploiting people. That's mixed in with some really good mythology that's so old nobody even remembers where it came from. But in the old world, there were a lot of religious franchises, and you could pick any imaginary friend you wanted. You know, I like Apollo, I like Zeus. You could like Iron Man if he existed, uh, but they're fake. Naturally, Yahweh came into being. He was kind of the pagan last man standing. He's what remained when all, to the exclusion of all the other gods. Our God's better, you know. Thousands of years later, Jesus comes along. He grows up in this cultured environment, and he says, wait a minute, I can work with this. I can make this real for people. I'm not going to give him an imaginary friend because what I've got is pretty close. I'm going to give him the real deal, the Father, the real Father, the Father we all wish we had, the parent consciousness of which we're all a facet. He goes to work. He starts telling people consciousness is real. I'm a child of God. God is available to you. Anything is possible. And he doesn't make, much as people want to believe, he makes up lies about your mortality. He really doesn't. Jesus doesn't lie to you. People talking about Jesus lie to you all the time. A lot of what he has to say is not what people want to hear, and they get pretty creative with it. But anyway, Jesus is looking at this, and he's trying to figure out a way to make this real for people because they deserve better. The worst of us deserve better. All right? And he says, I can work with this. Hey, maybe I can pass myself off as this guy they were talking about in the scriptures. Wait a minute. Oh, man. I am the guy they were talking about in the scriptures. You can't prove he isn't. Okay? This spoke to people, and it caused a lot of unrest with the authorities because they couldn't have people listening to their inward authority. Okay? They couldn't have people having a direct relationship with consciousness itself. They didn't want that. I mean, if you've got that, they're going to see through all the scams and the bullshit, you know. It'll be anarchy. You know, everybody's going to be doing as they feel led, listening to their conscience. We can't have that. And so that's why, in a world of multiple religions, Christians, statistically insignificant, tiny little group, nonviolent, why were they persecuted so badly? It's because they were an ideological threat, because their beliefs undermined the empire and the legitimized violence that their authority was based on. 300 years they persecute these Christians, and it doesn't work. It's still there. Constantine figured out how to nullify this. He says, wait a minute, we're going to give them what they want. We're going to legalize it. We'll make it the empire religion. Throws a big party and invites like 4,400 people. No Christian worthy of the name attends, just, you know, even though they're giving away free wine and food and lodging. And the guys that show up they want to end the persecution, but they're lying to themselves, probably a lot of them. They're trying to secure a place of authority in this new institutional structure, this new religious franchise that's government approved. and the Catholic Church was born. Back to the topic. Is God an imaginary friend? Unfortunately, most of the time, what people try to sell you as God, as Jesus, is exactly that. But Jesus isn't lying to you, okay? I'm not lying to you. The fact that you're here, that you're hearing my voice, that you're experiencing reality, that you're questioning things, the foundation of who you are, the I am, that's God and that's real, okay? Stick to it. Many centuries down the road, the Quakers and some others brought this idea back. They were sick of the institutional religion, sick of the nonsense. Again, they were tiny, nonviolent. What's the big deal? Well, the ideological threat. The recognition of an authority higher than the king, higher than the government of the day. And they were persecuted relentlessly, imprisoned, murdered, till finally, the same thing happened, a parallel of primitive Christianity. Quakerism was legalized, and it turned into a religious franchise. Now, a better one, I think, as close as you're going to get. But it was never the same as those early days. Okay? The real deal is dangerous, and it always has been. If you want to stay safe, pick yourself an imaginary friend and stick with it, or don't. Nobody cares. That doesn't make any difference. If you want to live to truth, listen to Jesus, listen to the Spirit within you. You don't have to be Christian. The Spirit's within you anyway. Okay? You don't have to read the Bible. Now, it's good when viewed in the proper context. Okay? But you don't have to have that. The Spirit is within you. The Bible, as I said, is history of people's experiences and the evolution of human conceptions of God. And it can help you. But when you read the words of Paul or others, they're just like you. Okay? They're humans. Their humanity is what's valuable about them. And they struggle with the same things that you do. And they try to reconcile truth with what they want to hear. It's natural. That's it.